but watch him yenko yenim Nsuatreman na no the CEO of Ghana football mu ne arewo sema yi na yaka ho asema club no tro de koma efe ni se opulu out league no ontumi ento aso biu na the entire afro kese kra ne ye eba ni say ya players na ya no musi akan de ma team no moya football fo a moya administrators yi eba ni say players ne ye omo den omo ko free obi atimi ko fa bia na obi beto player no mpa kwan ben so no be fa so beto no.
Okay, Medasi. Oh, say no, I can only speak to the letter, and I said the alleged letter. A call every honor. Yeah, and said then a copy of the real letter. Nsuatreman comma every. However, you communicate or more bar out.
From the association.
Almost say they are withdrawing from the Ghana Premier League for security reasons. Or money matters, any protocol issues, no nyoma akosunti. I think so money protocol ye papa ye ofa poli incident nearby. Subsequently, or money matters ekobo or home game will be any because of say ye banning Nana Kromansa Park.
Yeah.
You home ko be any or more corner. I think there were some people are or more trash or be attack or more bassano. And based on that, and they feel that the players no any technical team no security and yet guaranteed into a move to a league. No. So they have not said they have collapsed the company called Nsuatreman FC.
Okay.
You need to bring in that distinction.
Okay.
So if we are proceeding strictly based on Asemno Omakana, it means they have only withdrawn from the Ghana Premier League. Because Nsuatreman is a company which is registered with the Ghana, you can say, Registered General's Department.
Yeah.
So we move business or more ye football. So what you say?
Matias pa.
Na omo letter no omo de aba no. Meaning say every the akwa prosecutor. Enti based on precedents and somewhere SC pen into no, we can deduce or infer what is likely to happen.
Yeah.
Any yemra no so ne how I see the eduma. Enti se yesi wo bo competition na se obi nka bi shi mu na ase wo jaibo without just cause. As I say, you relegate you to the 2 tiers down.
Yeah.
So what it means is that so Premier League you go before Division 2 because after Premier League there is Division 1 and Division 2.
Okay.
So as we speak, Nsuatreman can say okay, after the discipline committee ruling, they will continue to do their football business and play Division 2.
Okay.
Ejana metete se wunu be say Nsuatreman yagu ayese ni unless onana bekase wa wind the company ne down.
Okay.
Nsuatreman enguye and that it can start from elsewhere. But enye nunti no afreme. It is just by now based on this. It means that technically Nsuatreman players no will be you can say free to move on at any point in time when they want to. You see, football now you're born footballers and now players no muhunya pa. Nti wo embra ye football mra FIFA yes system nyina. They are looking at player liberty, the players' interest. So what you say?
Yeah.
So there is a player, team say Premo, also a Premier League, maybe our sign contracts. The contract is based on the fact that Nsuatreman is playing Premier League. And wako sign contracts.
Okay.
Yes, based on performance, a bit me by Division 1. And that would have been as a result of the players' performance and editing number Division 1.
Yeah.
But as we speak, through no fault of the players, the team can no longer compete in the Premier League. And player announcement also obey Division 2.
Okay.
So on the match.
Matthias,
as we speak, every professional player should be with the club training, such as a shaping his skill set as a player.
Training or matches,
but as we speak, Nsuatreman Amobi Akotenefi denying the player those things.
Yeah.
The training, how I bema with me
effective. Yeah.
So it forms the basis for any player to appeal to the Ghana GFA, Ghana Football Association's Statute Committee. Say me permify who they said the bear make a cop to may so baby.
Okay.
And I am very sure that this will be one of the issues discipline committee, ever touch on when they finally deal with the Nsuatreman case, which has been referred to them by the ESCO.
Okay.
So for me, Emrano is very clear. Precedent it shows in these cases, the players will be free to move to where they want to go and continue on their careers.
Okay. Mr. Paul Anyaba, nchiremo di amaye, echrese mete wasi ya, neche obi pe player ni bi, ebi ya pe player A or B ya. Player no on to me nchiro nkoma Nsuatreman mpenimfo se me pe player A or B na omun nye transaction omun ton player no en release ne ma team no.
You see, mpenimfo say you can say who si bianco na ebu na obehwe a wesi sanso na adu afutare ho ba fem a wesi what you say.
Yeah.
In this instance, what is important is the player's career. And as a player, and if I
yes.
And now, me say there is player A, clubs 10 every Enti say o pese o Nsuatre na ne no edili na Nsuatre peacefully releasing the mawa. That would be your strategy to outweigh the other 9 clubs. Because I've told you that said because a player no say yenyanye GFA nyan make any pronouncement.
Yeah.
Enti se player ne pen fa ahudia. I just walk player status committee.
Okay.
Enti say we go through all these things no. Now say one person player and be go through. You can deal with Nsuatre and they will issue all those things for you because as we speak, there is no ruling from the discipline committee.
Exactly.
They give you freedom to the Nsuatreman players.
Yeah.
As we speak, no player has gone to the
status
committee to get his liberty or a free agent status. Without these two things, without the GFA through the discipline committee granting the players free status, and now say the player going to the status committee to get the free agent, they are still hooked to Nsuatreman. So a process and we go through. So if we a team B now free say player B will open on you don't want to go through this process and a process we a better at this juncture you can do it. But you can also decide that okay, if the player can get not a player not so I will help the player to go through the legal process
now
to get his freedom exactly and then join into sanity.
Oh, okay. Okay. In this instance, you use if because you name the course, but ye to adwene na ye din komo. Sir, eba ne se bia me a player or team bi mu say na say na ba team ne say league no want to mean to us due to way and now way into or training one free more. Bosume so I mention him say team no ntwa meka anase saying.
A very good question na website. You know, in the contract you sign, yeah, what the SSA way, na club no so you train obey say abo matches na club no so atua wo this salary and
bonuses.
so one of the things Bema contract near binding the fact that the club will continue to pay you. So what you say?
Exactly.
What is due you? But in this instance, you are not training, you are not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
The club in this, can decide, say, okay, even though, matches, I can pay you. I will still live up to my obligation in the contract. Now, the club not taking that decision. It is up to you, the player, to either accept and continue to be under contract, even though you are not doing the things that makes you a player.
Mm-hmm.
Or you say that, look, in the contract, I am supposed to be training and be playing matches and not a player. And because I am not doing that, I want my liberty to go elsewhere. I meet me as player. So, and also, a two-way side. If one player can say, so, okay, I want to remain Meji market, as a company, now I'll continue to be seen as a player of Nsuatreman. It will be premier. Then the club will have control over me. And that even say the club no could Division 2, I will stay and play the Division 2 and take my salary as Nsuatreman player. So what you say? And then there's also the option of going to the status committee and saying that I am not able to do the things I am supposed to. In fact, Mama Yengu said, so what's a contract, not a club, no, for 3 consecutive months when Tiaoka informed the basis to go to status committee, so well,
we start floating. Now
yes, floating, yes. Most players and their managers don't know.
Yeah.
And assuming sa assembly see, for 3 months, a club, no, Eguswa, Tiaoka, now Jedia. It means you have accepted, even under these circumstances, to continue to be under contract and be a Nsuatreman player.
Okay.
And only who we are, you cannot turn around and say, send me pay me far with you.
Okay.
But as we speak, you break you be a motivate. So you're a Nsuatreman player. So munina kofi. Whilst your fellow players are in camp training and playing matches and doing what makes them a player, when you are not able to do it through no fault of yours. But if you want to remain, you can continue to take your money. And at the end of the day, say once you push it, na company they say, media, mimbo league, minyese, timin car. At the end of the day, you use that to either go for your liberty, or you may want to also go to the status committee and tell the FA that you have a contract and so they should enforce it. And in America say, and there are a lot of scenarios.
Yeah.
But as we speak, because the company Nsuatreman has not winded down, it is not dissolved.
And a defunct club.
And a defunct club. And I hear your colleagues using that word. Nsuatreman can only be defunct when one company directors and now owners now say, I feel the Yempesi football view. Into a winding it down. Now you have a car or more day. A quite on befa so etua. Se won so wo de omo car, quite on befa so etua omo. Ne ye gu no. Ana say omo the company na ye boni. Into Attorney General will start a process at the court to dissolve it.
Okay.
But what you say, as we speak, yentis are no more way in a be. Until we assume that the company called Nsuatreman FC is there. And so if it has entered into any contractual obligations, it is still binding on company Nsuatreman. So as in the member says Nsuatreman akoto obi nsuo ontua ya yenka so omumbo league nti Nsuatreman ni obi. The company omu owner can go. Since Nsuatreman to obi player no ontua nwie ya. Such club can still pursue them because the company still is there. But when it comes to the players, and America say they have an option to either opt out or stay because FIFA not there. They be our say we a player, the amount we a player, BB NC kwan. Inti no wara all decisions are by banning players. Ye say no. Usually they call FIFA na cast no are setting aside because what makes a player a player is me training and playing matches.
Yeah.
And if you want to opt out, opt out. If you want to stay, you can stay and then be into as a mind player, continue to take whatever is due you. And when eventually at Womuko Division 2, you still stay and play for them.
Okay.
Sure.
Let me next question. Any me final one no krano. Wabe year no kakra. But mami misa ebia na odi bibibe kahwa. Na ebia na Nsuatreman bi krana. Ye di omo de na ye mfantu bi ko masem na aba. Ebia na wa top player bi ontua kanwie. Ana players no ye to omo a mo wo sky de ma wo mo a ontua nwie ye ne contract ne ska bi kra omo ontua mfa nwie ye. Ene oso league no na omo bio. But a kodum pempen so be some cassa born or cry ye bio, ye tim ni ye guna. Sa can I wo hono, ye ben a day, say a bear ye quana.
Aha, ain't say ye guna. And on a catch or say ye good company, ye neoma be bree. So what you say? And so I remind ye himself or more a japadie.
Okay.
So what you say? Enti say no almost ye gune kra company nti asia you will just go to you can say you just go to court.
Okay.
Say enkrofo yo mo de meka say ni
Almost so much jai omogu omade.
Yes, Yahushim is a registered company with this asset. And of course, so what this asset it means you bet me at ton near the offset the liabilities now where the one.
Okay.
Aha. And I think that and also crack on dinner more colleagues no more among you should the word different any the account.
Okay.
Because club will be a deca. It be our top player. Usually the standard is that Obeka me top player with 100,000. Me triano 2 tranches.
Me spread
First tranche be a memo 70,000 and 60,000. Second tranche mama 40. The first tranche me triano October. Second tranche me triano around March and April. So near me today.
Matthias.
And to me say so I remind to player where tria half a car half in a situation we have. You still bet me ada neka.
Okay.
Say or remain with the FA.
Also do see come.
You use the FA because there would have been a transfer agreement stating where and when
payment should be made.
Eka say work a Canadian amount. So the FA will enforce it. But they say, question, the say they say the so much jaibo bokra. And now the FA will not be in the position to enforce such a agreement. So you will be left with no other choice than to now resort to the law court, who will now look into the activities of Nsuatreman and say yes. So when jaibo bokra would the which is a legitimate car, so what asset is either you pay or your asset will be, you beton asset be near the tria account.
All right.
So we have some criminal proceedings. I will you me a clear a room maybe so or do mine car own yes can. yɛde n'adan bi ɔman no ka sɛ n'adan bi wɔ hɔ a yɛnkɔtɔn na ɔman nti Nsuatreman wɔ park wɔn wɔ asase bi wɔn wɔ office bi wɔn wɔ business bi ne yɛyi a it will be used nti ɛnyɛ ɛka hunu if only you want to pursue there are so many ways ubetumi de anya usika back but I don't also think say Nsuatreman is a different club that is a personal position.
All right. Yeah, that's a pa. Mr. Paul Anyaba, what boy in Nepal, what chire niema pi. Na Samates, season e kosa nanka yem fancy because so bana wanka utima sema my dream sema nye fair to you. Last year mo je league no kwa Africa, but times afuwe mo twenfa mo boka kra.
So what the trajectory? Me fancy about 10 years, 14 years ago. Obia we winning Ghana Premier League no. Okwa Africa or be struggle kakra wo
domestic competitions no. Yeah.
Yes, so and I think that the reasons are clear to us. But as to how we are going to find solutions, I'm not going to say but I think that it is something we need to look at.
Okay.
Because a Uji League, G League, 16th June, no. Necessarily prepare nearby a preliminary African way, no. 15th August.
Wow.
So it means from the time I winning league, we had less than
1 month.
2 months.
Okay, 2 months.
To play competitive African A. Meanwhile, the league be started in September. So what it means is that you start preparation and get to your peak at a time that your league has not even started.
Yes.
And science, will say when you get to the peak at the wrong time, you have to get back and then what's happening. So the African preparations, look at Mediama. Whilst they were doing well in Africa, it means that they had prepared and you can't say Oma prepared team based on the African calendar. And so local na and on a high and then you started the season with about 7 of our regular players. We lose to injury into players which is Baba, Amando, Sewonu, Amunina, no Yanyamo, even player Kofan free RT. Mankuyeli, a second round, the Anna Oba.
Yeah.
Into Nina high kakra and Ama but now we are back on track. Coach Ibaye, we are yet to lose a game. Women are winning boy. If we say and your mabeku yamaye.
Okay. Yeah, we some of the very best of luck. Now Wangasa de Uye Bianyanko Ponton Super Musoma. Paul Anyaba, Fox FM Kumasi Neta Credit, I was pay.
Mention